Continuing from the previous episode 385. With the appearance of the gray-clothed old man, there was some fire in the pupils of the soldiers guarding the exit of the underground palace. Because this person is the deputy head of the dragon-loving legion, Yi Mo, a 9-star fighting emperor-level powerhouse. With this lord in charge, they are also relieved. Otherwise, once the old zoo breaks into the forbidden area, they will not be able to eat and walk around. Inside the Xuanling royal family, in a quiet bamboo forest, 2 figures slowly appeared in it. It seems to be a failure. King Xuanling also said slowly. King, how is that possible? That is the strength of the 8-star Do Emperor's perfection, and it's not easy to deal with 2 5-star Do Emperor. Wen Zi, who had a plate, also said inconceivably. Nothing is impossible. Being able to kill the twin ghost emperors, this Xiao Yan must have some special means in his hands, and that Mu Yingying, I felt a familiar aura from her, but I can't tell you the specifics. King Xuanling was also slightly shaken. Shaking his head, with this failure, I don't know when I will have a chance in the future. The potential of these 2 is also very terrifying. Wen Zi also said helplessly. Perhaps now is not the time to think about this matter. After King Xuanling finished speaking, he also looked up at the sky and found that the sky at this time was changing drastically. Bamboo Ember? Wen Zi was also surprised. With Wen Zi's old-fashioned eyesight, it was naturally not difficult to spot the violently undulating thunderclouds in the sky at this time. It seems that this time failed. Zhu Jin, the immortal old man, will not let it go. King Xuanling also stared at the dense dark clouds in the sky with lightning and thunder, and then said slowly. Because even King Xuanling, who stepped into the 9-rank Do Emperor, felt a chill in the sky. I'm going to deal with the tail. Wen Zi heard the words and also knew what Xuanling King meant, and then a yellow jade talisman in his hand was instantly crushed. The next moment, the space around Wen Zi squiggled slightly, and then disappeared. This fluctuation actually touches the fluctuation of life and death. King Xuanling shook his head helplessly, then got up slightly and walked towards the place where the underground palace was. Zhu Jin, you can't fight with our Xuanling royal family. The old man Yi Mo also shouted angrily, and then his aura suddenly soared. You actually stepped into the 9-star Do D. The next moment, Zhu Lao was also somewhat surprised. Yi Mo immediately relaxed a little when he heard the words, and then just when he was about to talk about Zhu Jin, a voice that was not afraid of the sky and the earth suddenly came out. If something happens to him, there is no need for your Xuanling royal family to exist anymore. Elder Zhu also stood in the air, standing in the void, and beside him, waves of extremely terrifying lightning also passed by Elder Zhu, but they didn't hit on Zhu Lao's body. At this time, Elder Zhu looked down on all beings like a thunder king between heaven and earth. Faced with such a terrifying aura, the old man Yi Mo also said helplessly, maybe things are not what you think. Why don't we calm down the anger and sit down and talk? It's no wonder that Yi Mo has such an attitude, because Yi Mo also knows that he has only just broken through the 9-star Do Emperor, and now he is only a 9-star Do Emperor at best, not even a rank 9-star Do Emperor. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang Wu, Kai 8.1 ZS, Ko M. As for the old man in front of him, he was already a rank 7 9-star Do Emperor as early as 100 years ago. In 100 years, he may have reached a certain height. Humph, Yi Mo, don't think I don't know the good things your Xuanling royal family has done over the years. Elder Zhu also snorted coldly, his aura showed no signs of weakening. Sir, what you are doing is hurting the harmony between our Xuanling royal family and Fenxiang Pavilion. Yi Mo continued, get out of the way. Zhu Lao also found that Yi Mo was blocked at the entrance to the underground palace, and immediately shouted from the sky. With the sound of Zhu Lao's voice, the thundercloud around Zhu Jin's sky also suddenly emitted a dazzling lightning beam, and then whizzed straight towards the ground. Boom boom boom! The terrifying thunder and lightning attack spread to the ground in an instant, and the next moment, the earth-shattering explosion sounded along with many fragments. A huge pit 100 feet tall also suddenly appeared in front of Yi Mo. At this time, Yi Mo's heart was also wiped with sweat, because he also knew that this old Jew's attack was just a disgrace. If this terrifying attack hits him, I am afraid it will be very difficult to deal with. Damn it! This old immortal has already touched Do Xian, and his current strength is probably the Do D of the 9-rank 9-star Do Emperor. Yi Mo also murmured in his heart, and then glanced at the distant sky slightly unwillingly. Sir, you will pay the price for your choice this time. Yi Mo said slowly, and then directly retreated from the entrance to the underground palace he was guarding. This is also impossible. After all, the person in front of him was a peak powerhouse at the level of the 9-rank 9-star Do-D. If he insisted on breaking through, Yi Mo knew that he couldn't stop him no matter what. Threaten me? I said long ago that if my disciple makes any mistakes on the territory of your Xuanling royal family, I will not let it go. Elder Zhu also said reluctantly. Isn't this a rogue? Some of the soldiers guarding the entrance to the underground palace also made some very small voices. Forget it. Who let people have this strength? The soldiers also kept saying. What? Disciple? Yi Mo was shocked when he heard this. The Zhu Jin in front of him. If the strength of the 9-rank 9-star Do linked to diwww.novelmtl.com is powerful, but it is not enough to make them extremely afraid. What's even more terrifying, this Elder Zhu is the #1 battle formation master in Zon Santian. Do formation master, that is enough to fight the terrifying existence of their entire Xuanling royal family by himself, so even the Xuanling king should be polite to this Zhu Jin. After all, 100 years ago, this Zhu Jin was not at the peak of Do-D's strength, but by virtue of his strength and the strength of Do formation masters, he alone fought against their Dragon Addiction Legion and the 11 Xuanling kings today. Moreover, he also seriously injured several of their strong men, so he retreated completely. That battle can be said to have disturbed the entire Zon Santian, and it was that battle that established the title of Zhu Jinxuan's first battle formation master. Therefore, the strength of this Zhu Jin can only be described in terms of terror. However, what makes the Xuanling royal family gratified is that although this Zhu Jin is extremely terrifying in its own strength, with the addition of the Do formation master, I am afraid that in the entire Xuanling Santian, it is also in existence with only one hand on the sky. Fortunately, this Zhu Jin did not accept any disciples, otherwise, with the strength of this strong man, over time, a more terrifying battle formation master would definitely be cultivated. Therefore, Yi Mo was also hearing about the few people who entered the Xuanling Emperor Pond during this trip, and one of them was a disciple of Zhu Jin, and he also understood why this Zhu Jin would take the risk of fighting two superpowers and force his way forward. It's a big trouble now. Yi Mo also shook his head suddenly, then looked at Zhu Jin, who was heading towards the underground palace. This man was a famous guard. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 386. Mu Feng, who was on the side, also supported Mu Yinying, and then a mysterious blue fighting spirit slowly entered Mu Yinying's body. With the gentle fighting spirit entered by Mu Feng, Mu Yinying's slightly pale face gradually became somewhat rosy. What the asterisk happened? How can it be so weak? Mu Feng looked at Mu Yinying beside him, and felt the extremely serious injury in Mu Yinying's body, and immediately said with a heartache. With such an appearance, it is obvious that they used a secret method. I don't know what enemy Xiao Yan and the others encountered, but it was so heavy. The next moment, Mu Feng also protected Mu Yinying, in order to prevent these people from the Xuanling royal family from making a secret move, and then stared at the old Zhu in front of him. At this time, Elder Zhu also slowly flew down from the sky, and then headed towards the underground palace, but the thundercloud above the sky did not dissipate. At this time, Xiao Yan was extremely embarrassed and weak, with scars all over his body, and the fighting qi in his body was extremely thin. It was obvious that he had just used all the fighting qi in his body. Soul strength and unexpectedly, cause now walking is shaky. Xiao Yan just left the space teleportation formation and came to the first floor of the underground palace. Then he didn't rush to leave, he sat on the ground directly, and then took out a lot of medicinal pills from the ring in his hand. Get up, Xiao Yan, I know very well that since the Xuanling royal family dared to send a strong person to encircle and suppress itself so blatantly, it must have been prepared, so Xiao Yan did not dare to go out rashly. Not far. Xinya 81 Zhang Huiyan Wang Wu, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS. Koem Xiao Yan sat on the ground, and then closed his eyes slightly. The strong scent of the medicinal herbs continued to transform into pure force flowing through Xiao Yan's limbs, making the exhausted fighting qi in Xiao Yan's body also fast. Recovering. Breakthrough. Who? Come out. The next moment, Xiaoyan also suddenly noticed some strange noises on the first floor of the underground palace, and then his pupils shrank tightly as he stared vigilantly around. Haha, what a vigilant little guy. But why do you give me a familiar aura? A deep voice also slowly echoed in Xiaoyan's ears. Damn, it won't be so unfortunate. Xiaoyan also wanted to cry but had no tears, because with the help of the recovered soul power, Xiaoyan also felt it. This power is the mysterious power that stands in the core area of Xuanling Emperor Pond. When I entered the core area of the Xuanling Emperor Pond before, I found a rather obscure aura, but at that time, my master, the Golden Dragon King, existed, and that power did not appear. In the Xuanling Emperor Pond, there is a witch, but that witch's strength is not as terrifying as the one in front of her. The next moment, a young man also slowly appeared on Xiaoyan. The man's whole body exudes an extremely hot wave, and the white and transparent fighting spirit is also slowly beating on the man's body. The next moment, Xiaoyan also suddenly ran away. Because Xiaoyan also discovered that the mysterious powerhouse in the Xuanling Imperial Pond in front of him is even more terrifying than the worship that the Xuanling Imperial family sent to encircle him. A chill of death also filled Xiaoyan's heart, and even the fighting qi in his body stopped flowing. Little baby, what are you running? I won't eat you. The man also smiled quietly, and then waved casually. Xiaoyan, who was running towards the exit, was also caught directly. Xiaoyan also raised his head, then smiled slightly. Senior, what are you doing? After Xiaoyan finished speaking, he simply gave up escaping. Under the eyes of such a strong man, if he wanted to escape, it would be more difficult than ascending to the sky. I said, I just felt that there seems to be a familiar aura in your body. The man also said indifferently. Senior, I don't know what you are talking about. Xiaoyan was also confused, and immediately said, Haha. After the man finished speaking, he also raised his palm directly, and then an invisible force also moved towards Xiaoyan's body. Shabu! Invisible power instantly invaded Xiaoyan's body. Xiaoyan also gritted his teeth and cursed in his heart. Strange. After some investigation, the man found nothing, and then shook his head. It seems that you have a good teacher. After the man finished speaking, a lightning attack containing terrifying fluctuations spread out instantly. Boom, boom, boom. The mysterious man also stopped directly with one hand, and then also looked at the old man who entered. Are you all right? It was Zhu Jin who had just stepped into the first floor of the underground palace, and was heading here non-stop. Just when he came here, he saw this mysterious man's investigation of Xiaoyan, and he immediately followed directly. Attack! I can't die yet. Xiaoyan also saw his master Zhu Jin coming, and his heart was warm. After all, he broke into the forbidden underground palace of the Xuanling royal family without authorization. This alone made Xiaoyan quite convinced of this master. Don't worry, it's me. Elder Zhu also said slowly to Xiaoyan, and then his eyes turned to the mysterious man in front of him. It's really a teacher who protects the shortcoming. The man also shook his head, then turned into a meteor and disappeared into this space. What happened? Elder Zhu also watched the mysterious man disappear, and then said to Xiaoyan. When Mu Yingying and I left the Xuanling Imperial Pond and came to the 9 fishes playing dragon formation, we were surrounded and killed by an 8-star Do Emperor perfection level powerhouse in the enshrined hall of the Xuanling Imperial family. Xiaoyan did not hide the slightest bit of anything. Link to www.novelmtl.com. What? Are you sure? The next moment, Zhu Jin was also suddenly shocked. Yes. After Xiaoyan finished speaking, he also coughed violently a few times. Obviously, the terrifying pressure on the mysterious man just now also caused Xiaoyan to have a lot of pressure. We have written down this hatred. Next time I will definitely kill this worshipper. Zhu Jin's voice also echoed in Xiaoyan's mind. Don't worry, teacher, you can't die for the time being. Xiaoyan also said with relief. Mu Yingying, is she all right? Xiaoyan also said in a hoarse voice. She's fine, it's just that the game is weak and out of strength. Elder Zhu also said, let's go. Let's leave here first, you need to cultivate now. After Zhu Lao finished speaking, he also returned directly to the original road. Xiaoyan also followed old Zhu and left the underground palace. At this time, the man in black also sat on the ground slowly in the 9 fishes playing dragon formation in the underground palace, and then the next moment, the space on the side was wriggling. Here, the man in black also said, "You actually failed. When you go back, prepare to accept the wrath of King Xuanling." Wen Zi also snorted coldly. Alas, the man in black also sighed, and then the next moment, the figure moved, and the two also disappeared into the space of the 9 fish playing dragon formation. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 387. That is, Xiao Yan. After waiting for a long time, Mu Feng also found 2 familiar figures that came out of the underground palace, and then took a closer look and found that it was Xiao Yan. At this time, Xiao Yan was behind Zhu Lao, and his body was very weak. Even if he absorbed a lot of high-level medicinal herbs, he would not be able to recover from this serious injury in a short time. It's just that Mu Feng also found out that at this time, Lao Ju's eyes were fierce, and he was obviously a little angry. "Yi Mo, I can't think of your dignified Xuanling royal family, but you're doing some unrighteous things behind your back." Zhu Lao also walked out and said to the Yi Mo old man on the ground, "Zhu Jin, please don't spray people with blood. My Xuanling royal family has always been good, isn't it like this?" Yi Mo also snorted coldly, and then said not to be outdone. "Ha ha ha, then why did my disciples suffer such a serious injury?" Elder Zhu also laughed, then stared at Yi Mo and said. Being stared at by Zhu Jin, the thundercloud above the sky also swelled extremely, and then Yi Mo also felt that a chill slowly filled his heart. The powerhouses at the peak of Do Di are really different. Looking at old Ghost Ju's attitude, it's going to be troublesome now. Yi Mo said slightly in his heart, "Today, if your Xuanling royal family doesn't give me an explanation, then I'm afraid this matter is not so easy to solve." The next moment, the aura of Zhu Lao suddenly soared, and then a huge voice echoed in the exit of the entire underground palace. "Place. Sigh." Yi Mo also sighed. Obviously he didn't expect things to develop to this point. After all, the Zhu Jin in front of him has the capital to speak, because at this time, Zhu Jin, who is at the pinnacle level of Do Di, plus his special status as a Do formation master, I am afraid that the entire Xuanling royal family has the power to fight, not to mention he is the only one present now, a strong man who has just stepped into the 9-star Do Emperor. Do formation masters are really amazing and fearful beings. Some strong men guarding the underground palace also made some noises. Xiao Yan also felt old Ju's actions, obviously for his own sake, and he couldn't help feeling warm. Then, with this terrifying backer, Xiao Yan didn't care about old Zhu, and walked straight to Mu Feng's side, and said, "Is she all right?" "It's okay, it's just that it's overdrawn, it's too weak, and it takes a long time to recover." Mu Feng also said, "Show me." After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he also stretched out his hand towards Mu Yingying who was weak. Xinya 81 Zhang Huiyan Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS. Koem, yes. Mu Feng heard this and slowly handed Mu Yingying to Xiao Yan. Mu Yingying just started, and an extremely cold feeling also emanated from her body. There was a hint of hesitation in Xiao Yan's pupils, and then he held Mu Yingying's delicate body with one hand and dragged Mu Yingying's forehead with the other. In the next moment, Xiao Yan also displayed a huge soul power, trying to nourish and repair Mu Yingying's injury, but what makes Xiao Yan strange is that even Mu Yingying, who was injured at this time, did not accept his own power at all. As if there was something in Mu Yingying's body that blocked Xiao Yan's power. After some attempts, Xiao Yan also gave up this practice, and then slowly took out a few quite exquisite medicinal pills from the Na ring on his finger, ready to take it for Mu Yingying. The medicinal pill in Xiao Yan's hand just appeared, and everyone on the side was a little envious. After all, the value of high-level medicinal pills is quite expensive, and only a few can have it. Xiao Yan also ignored the 3,721, then freed up one hand, took out the medicinal pill, and slowly walked towards Mu Yingying's lips. Gently opened Mu Yingying's lips, and then put the medicinal pills in. The medicinal pill had just entered Mu Yingying's lip. I don't know if it was out of instinct or what, but Mu Yingying's lip moved slightly, and then she chewed the medicinal pill. The next moment, the medicinal pill also turned into an extremely pure energy, flowing slowly along Mu Yingying's lips. As Mu Yingying swallowed Xiao Yan's medicinal pill, her complexion gradually became brighter, and her body's injuries also improved significantly. In this way, Xiao Yan was relieved. After all, when Mu Yingying faced the enshrinement of the Xuanling royal family, who was as powerful as the 8-star Do Emperor, she had no intention of backing down, and she did not hesitate to use the power beyond her own. This leaf really moved Xiaoyan a little, so there is only the present scene. Although Xiaoyan didn't know why Mu Yingying possessed the holy flame, and from the previous point of view, Mu Yingying should have deliberately covered up the secret that she had the holy flame on her body, but Xiaoyan also admired Mu Yingying quite a bit. After doing all this, Xiaoyan also glanced at Mu Yingying in his hand, and found that there was a hint of stubbornness on Mu Yingying's delicate face at this time. The next moment, Xiaoyan and Mu Feng also raised their heads at the same time, and looked at Elder Zhu beside him. Zhu Jin, don't go too far. Entering the Xuanling Emperor Pond is inherently risky, you are playing a fool. Yi Mo also shouted helplessly, trying to shake the bamboo embers. Zhu Jin also ignored Yi Mo at all, but found that in the sky at this time, the densely covered terrifying thunderclouds also weakened a little, and the space trembled a little. The next moment, Zhu Lao also slowly shouted into the sky, "Since you are here, why hide?" King Xuanling. As Zhu Lao's voice fell, a smile came from above the sky. "Ha ha ha, Zhu Jin, your eyes are still so old-fashioned." The voice just linked to fell www.novelmtl.com. A certain space above the sky also wriggled, and then a figure slowly appeared in it. With golden clothes all over the figure, you can tell that he is not an ordinary person at a glance. But at this time, the terrifying fluctuations around the Xuanling king also slowly spread out. Actually, even King Xuanling was alarmed. For such a big thing, if the Xuanling king doesn't show up, I'm afraid things will get out of hand. Yeah, after all, these are all Do D peak level powerhouses. If you were a little careless, that's... There were also constant whispers of guard soldiers around. King Xuanling? The next moment, Xiaoyan's pupils also shrank tightly. Although I don't know why, Xiaoyan is certain that the strength of the Xuanling king is undoubtedly a longer improvement than the selection of the super sect at the beginning. Shabu Shabu. The next moment, in the depths of Xiaoyan's soul realm, the holy flame soul seed also suddenly produced extremely violent movements. That kind of feeling seems to originate from the invisible flame around the Xuanling king. What the asterisk is going on here? Xiaoyan was also at a loss at this time, but he had no choice but to suppress the unhappiness in his heart, and then forcibly suppress the holy flame soul seed in the soul realm. The next moment, Mu Yingying in Xiaoyan's hands seemed to make some extremely weak movements because of the appearance of the Xuanling king, and then fell silent again. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 388. Xiaoyan also stared at the Xuanling king in the sky, and then found that there were wisps of invisible flames around the Xuanling king at this time. The three different fire powers all have some deep fears. Could it be that the Xuanling king has devoured the holy flame? Xiaoyan was also somewhat puzzled, and then murmured, "When I entered the 9-fish playing dragon formation outside the Xuanling Imperial Pond, and when I met the last patriarch of the Tianmuyu clan, I vaguely knew that there must be a lot of good things in the underground palace of the Xuanling Imperial family. Among them, there are good things in the 6th floor of the underground palace, the mother of the fairy Bodhi tree. As for the deeper place, the 7th floor of the underground palace, according to Yu Zhan, is likely to be the place where holy flame exists. Because where is the most strict place in the entire Xuanling royal family? The strong man it guards is probably also a very terrifying existence. I don't look like it. Although the flames around this King Xuanling are not weak, it is not so easy to swallow the holy flame. And the flame on his body is really small, and it has nothing to do with the holy flame." Long Yi, who was on the ancient ruler of the eternal fire, also slowly made a sound. After all, with Long Yi's old-fashioned eyes, it is naturally not difficult to find the abnormality in this King Xuanling. Hope so, but the Xuanling royal family, I, Xiaoyan, and you have also formed the grievances. If there is a chance next time, I will definitely make you pay a heavy price. People don't offend me. I don't offend anyone. If anyone sins against me, I will sin. Above the sky at this time, King Xuanling stood in the air, and terrifying fluctuations also radiated from his side. Since the matter at the Xuanling Emperor Pond is over, so be it. King Xuanling also said lightly, "Ha ha ha, King Xuanling, don't play me like a child." I said, What happened to my disciple in your Xuanling royal family? Your dignified king of the Xuanling royal family just wanted to end it so easily. It's too whimsical, Elder Zhu also said relentlessly. Bold. King Xuanling is here again, you. Yi Mo also looked at the arrival of King Xuanling, and heaved a sigh of relief. Otherwise, just relying on the strength he just entered the 9-star Do Emperor level here today would definitely not be able to stop this Zhu Jin. Old Ghost Bamboo, you don't look like the style of burning incense pavilion. King Xuanling also stopped Yi Mo beside him and said slowly, Don't use the burning incense pavilion to oppress me. You should have known 100 years ago that this wouldn't work for me. Elder Zhu also said directly without giving the Xuanling king any face. I know, but it's up to the parties involved. After King Xuanling finished speaking, he also pointed the finger at Xiaoyan. As powerful as the Zhu Jin of the burning incense pavilion, at this time, King Xuanling, even if he combined the power of the two Yi Mo, was still not sure of defeating him. However, Xiaoyan was different, so he also pointed the finger at him. When Xiaoyan heard this, he was also secretly shocked. But Xiaoyan also knew that if this old man made such a big move for himself, it would inevitably cause the forces behind him, the Fenxiang Pavilion, to be involved more or less, and he immediately had a plan in his heart. Uncle Master, Senior King Xuanling, this incident is a coincidence. I hope the two of you can stop. At the next moment, Xiaoyan also said to the equally well-matched Elder Zhu and King Xuanling. That's good. King Xuanling laughed slowly when he heard the words, then stared at Zhu Jin and said, Old Ghost Zhu, your disciples have said so let's just leave it like this. I don't care about your trespassing into the forbidden area of our Xuanling royal family. What do you think? After King Xuanling finished speaking, he also turned his attention to the place where Elder Zhu was, and then waited for Elder Zhu's answer. Humph! Elder Zhu also snorted coldly, and the next moment, those terrifying thunderclouds in the sky also slowly dissipated, revealing a sky that belongs to thousands of miles of clear skies. Obviously, Elder Zhu also knew that it would be extremely unwise to fight against the Xuanling royal family at this time. Able to bend and stretch, this child is really... Elder Zhu also said slowly in his heart. By the way, Xuanling Old Ghost, I heard that the auction is only 10 days away. Why don't you get 3 tickets at random? It can be regarded as an apology for my disciple. The next moment, Zhu Lao just took it back. With his own breath, he turned his head suddenly, as if he remembered something, facing Xuanling Wang Dao. Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang U. Kai 8. Approximately 1 ZS. Koem. What? 3? Yi Mo heard the words and almost spit it out. The auction held by the Xuanling royal family was considered to be quite a grand event during the entire Xuanling 3 days, and every time it was held, many treasures flowed out. It's just that those who want to enter the Xuanling royal family auction obviously cannot be some unknown people, and graduates are also some high-profile characters. For example, the Zhu Jin in front of him is known as the #1 fighting formation master in Xuanxin Santian, so the Xuanling royal family auction is also qualified enough to enter the most luxurious auction. It's just that Xiaoyan and the others don't have such good treatment, because the minimum requirement to enter the Xuanling royal family auction is to have the strength of a 6-star Do Emperor. Looking around, no matter whether it is Xiaoyan, Mu Yingying or Mu Feng, none of them have this qualification. However, there is another way to enter the Xuanling royal family auction, then use money to buy tickets. An admission ticket was sold for a high price of 10 million gold coins. 10 million gold coins, this is not a small sum, and the annual income of ordinary people is only a few thousand gold coins, which is enough to show the grandness of this Xuanling royal family auction. No problem. The next moment linked to www.novelmtl.com. King Xuanling also said very cheerfully. Obviously, this mere 30 million yuan, he has not taken it seriously. That's good. After old Zhu finished speaking, he also went back to where Xiaoyan was. Why are you still standing still? Let's go back to heal first. Elder Zhu also said plainly. After speaking, he was the first to leave, leaving Xiaoyan and the 3 to stare blankly at Elder Zhu. Is this Elder Zhu really a powerhouse at the peak of the Emperor Do? Why does he look like an ordinary old man now? This idea not only appeared in the minds of Xiaoyan and the others, but also in the minds of the surrounding soldiers. After a brief hesitation, Mu Feng also followed, and Xiao Yan also followed directly holding Mu Yingying. With the disappearance of Zhu Lao and several others, the entrance of the underground palace is also becoming more serious. Yi Mo and King Xuanling were also floating in the sky. King Xuanling, is this what you did? I'm going to hold a worship meeting. Yi Mo also snorted coldly, and just after he finished speaking, he also walked towards the depths of the Xuanling royal family. Damn it. Take one hair and move the whole body. It's all the failure of the *** worship. It's even more troublesome now. King Xuanling changed his smile just now, and then said in a rather gloomy way, he followed Yi Mo and flew towards the Xuanling royal family. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 389. Xiao Yan and the others also left the underground palace, came to an inn, and stayed there. Uncle, is she all right? Xiao Yan also quietly asked. It's okay, she has overdrawn too much strength and needs a good rest. Also, you should go down and rest. Elder Zhu also said, Uncle, thank you. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he was relieved, then left the house where Mu Yingying lived and walked towards his own. After all, my uncle, but the strength of Do Di's peak level, with him, Xiao Yan is also relieved, and Xiao Yan's injury is also serious this time, and he must recover as soon as possible. He. The two of you really don't give me peace of mind. You Xiao Yan alone is enough to give me a headache. I can't think of another Mu Yingying now. However, why does this Mu Yingying have a trace of burning aura on her body? Could it be my illusion? Zhu Lao also said to himself, and then he left the room slowly. In the house at this time, only Mu Yingying was left lying quietly on the bed. The next moment, Mu Yingying's eyelids twitched violently, and then she murmured, Xiao Yan. Then calm returned. In the depths of the Xuanling royal family, the palace compound. There are many stone steps in Langya, hundreds of steps from the bottom to the top, and a group of magnificent palaces also appear in the palace compound. At this time, in a rather imposing secret room, he gathered a lot of people at this time. At first glance, this secret room is specially prepared for the meeting. The wooden table of the meeting presents the character 1, and there is a first position on the left and right sides, which is convenient for communication. Among them, the first one on the left and the second one on the left is the Yi Mo who I saw with Zhu Lao before. At this time, Yi Mo sat respectfully next to the old man who was at the top on the left, and then his eyes were fixed on King Xuanling, who was on the top on the right, and an unpleasant aura also emanated. The one above the first on the left is an elderly man. His white hair and beard and the wrinkles on his face are undoubtedly full of the flavor of the years, and it is also a foil for his age. It's just that this is the case, and no one dares to underestimate this old man. Because this old man is now the controller of the dragon-loving legion. Qin Tian, who is known as the Fudo Ming King. A strong man who has ruled the entire dragon-loving legion for hundreds of years. A strong man who is on an equal footing with Zhu Lao based on his strength alone. Hundreds of years have passed since he stepped into the 9-star Do Di rank 9, and as the hundreds of years have passed, his strength has become more and more terrifying. Yi Mo, tell me. This time it was you who held the worship hall meeting, what happened? Qin Tian, who was first on the left, also said to Yi Mo next to him. Reporting to the head, the main purpose of holding the worship hall meeting this time is to criticize the Xuanling king. Yi Mo also said slowly, What? As soon as these words came out, the pupils of the people next to them also opened tightly, obviously extremely incredible. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang Wu, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Koem the identity of King Xuanling, although it cannot be said to be one-handed in the Xuanling royal family, is also a king with extremely high dominance. If this Yi Mo is criticized and fought, what will be his face? Yi Mo, you want to talk nonsense. King Xuanling's eyelids were also beating violently, and then he suppressed the anger in his heart and slowly said to Yi Mo. Humph. At this time, we are on the verge of a stalemate with the Medusa family. How can we cause trouble? This time, the three people from the burning incense pavilion entered the Xuanling Emperor Pond. Why did the boy and the woman act like this? Presumably the Xuanling king knows a little about it? Yi Mo also asked rhetorically. I don't know what you are talking about. King Xuanling also snorted coldly. As Yi Mo just finished speaking, the body of a certain black figure in the conference room also trembled. With such an appearance, if Xiao Yan was there, he would definitely be able to recognize at a glance that this was the person who attacked them. Enough, King Xuanling. What do you think is going on? The old man above the top also said. Uncle Qin, this matter. King Xuanling also hesitated. Speak. The next moment, the old man Qin Tian, who was above the first place, also suddenly shouted. Uncle Qin, I asked Xuanmo to go to this matter. Upon seeing this, King Xuanling also knew that the matter could not be concealed, and immediately said in a low voice. Mysterious demon. What the asterisk is going on? The next moment, Qin Tian also focused his attention on Zhan Mo, and then asked viciously. The regiment. Commander, I. The next moment, the man in black wearing a black cloak also said tremblingly, for fear that Qin Tian would punish him heavily. Everyone is a brother who has been born and died for many years. I just want to know the truth of the matter. Qin Tian also said very plainly. It's like this. The 3 disciples in the burning incense pavilion are the top 3 in this point looting competition, and the first place also killed the twin ghost emperors, so the subordinates. This has nothing to do with King Xuanling. Xuanmo also said. Alas. Qin Tian also sighed slowly. Xuanshen, I know your character, but you have to remember that if you can't bear to be small, you will make big plans. The next moment, Qin Tian also spoke to King Xuanling, who was sitting opposite him. Remember the teachings of Uncle Huang. King Xuanling also said quite happily. Since this is the case, then this matter should be suppressed first, and then we will talk about it later. You should not have any conflicts with Fenxiang Pavilion. We'll talk about everything after the Medusa family is resolved. Qin Tian also said, Uncle, since today's worship hall meeting was held, the kid has a request. King Xuanling also smiled slowly. What's the matter? Qin Tian also asked. I ask Uncle Huang to bring the people from the Dragon Addiction Legion with me to the forbidden area in the depths of the Medusa clan, and capture Medusa alive. King Xuanling also said directly. After arresting Medusa, their Medusa family is not crazy to revenge us? Qin Tian also said slightly. Uncle, you don't know anything about this. Among the Medusa clan, the one with the highest bloodline is Medusa. As long as we capture Medusa alive, then we can rely on with Medusa's bloodline suppressing the vast majority of the power in the Medusa clan. It is only a matter of time before the problem of the Medusa clan is solved. King Xuanling also said as if he was winning. That's right. What about the rest of you? After Qin Tian finished speaking, he also turned his attention to the remaining 10 people in the meeting. Shabu shabu. At the next moment, out of 10 people, 8 people raised their hands to express their agreement to this practice. As for the remaining 2, one is Yi Mo, and the other is a strong man next to Yi Mo. I don't agree. Among the Medusa clan, Medusa will definitely be the most protected. If we dispatch the entire dragon-loving army, our Xuanling royal family and the Medusa clan will definitely go to war. The people who died in the war the most were the common people. Yi Mo also roared. Yi Mo, you just have a good heart. But there are some things that can only be earned if you give up. We have been at a stalemate with the Medusa family for so long, and it's time to make a break. Qin Tian also said slowly. That's it. As soon as the auction ends, leave immediately. Go down and get ready. Top secret operation, codename, snake hunting. After Qin Tian finished speaking, he also slowly walked out of the conference room. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter.